Hello everyone, today we'll be looking at conditional statements in Python. Now, what are conditional statements? Conditional statements are statements that we use to control the flow of our program. Very important, take note, the flow of our program. So we'll be looking at each of the statements one after the other. So the first one we're going to look at now is we're going to look at the if statement. The if statement. The if statement. Now, for the if statement, what it does is that it prints out the condition if it is true. Okay, so it prints out the condition is true. If it is true. Okay, now let's give an example where we can use the if statement. So let's say we have an assumption and I say I give x is equals to 10. X is equals to 10. So now we have assigned a variable, an information to a variable x, and it has 10. Okay, now if we say if x is greater than 10, okay, now we are asking a condition, saying that if x is greater than 10, what is going to happen? So we use the print function to say that x is greater than 10. Okay, now we have this information. Now when we run this, now look at what it's going to give us. It's not going to give us any output. Why? Because we are saying x is equals to 10. Now we are asking, is x greater than 10? No. You see, because it's not true, it's not going to give us an output. And remember, we said that the if statement prints out the condition if it is true. Okay, so now it's not going to give us a condition. It's not going to give us an answer or an output because the condition is not true. Okay, so now if we want to do this, now we can also use the else statement. The else statement. Okay, so for the else statement, now this we use it to capture the otherwise, or in terms of when it's not true, then the false. Okay, so we use it to print the otherwise. Okay, now to print the otherwise, now what we are going to do now, using this same illustration we used before, where we said x is equals to 10, and when I said if x is greater than 10, print the information that is greater. But since it's not true, it's not going to give us an outcome. Okay, so I copy this and I paste it on my next cell. All right, now I'm going to write else. So if you take notice, you see the way I write my else, please ensure you do the same in order not to have indentation error. Okay, and I said else print x is lesser than 10. So let me close my brackets. Okay, so when we run this now, look at the outcome. Now you see it's giving us that x is lesser than 10. Remember, the first condition was not correct, so we use the else to capture the otherwise. All right, that's for the else statement. Now we have the EliF statement. Okay, now so the EliF statement, what it does is that it helps us capture multiple conditions. Okay, multiple conditions. So it captures multiple conditions. So let's say now we want to use the same first illustration. So what we are going to do, we're going to say x again, or I copy this whole information. Let me copy from the first one. Copy, and I paste it over here. Okay, now we have x is equals to 10. Then we now say that if x is greater than 10, give us a certain outcome. Okay, now we know that the condition is not true. So here now we can use the EliF, you see, and ask the other condition, saying is x equal to 10. Then I write the print if it is equals to 10, give us an outcome. That's why we're using the print function. Okay, so we say x is equal to 10. Then I can also use the else if again to say x is not equal to 10. So if the condition is true that the x is not equal to 10, it's going to give us an outcome saying that x is not equal to 10. Not equal to 10. Then we can also, okay, after capturing this now, we can also say that we can also capture the lesser than 10 if the x is lesser than 10 with else. Okay, so we have captured for the first one if it is greater, if it's equal to, and if it's not equal to. Okay, so lastly now we can use the else statement here and print that the x is lesser than 10. So when we do this now and we run this now, look at the outcome is going to give us. X is equals to 10. That is the correct condition. Okay, so please take note again for recap. The if statement we use to capture a condition if it is true. The else we help to print otherwise. If it's not true, false, print an information. Okay, and the else if we use to capture multiple conditions. Okay, the same way we captured x is equals to 10 and is not equals to 10. Okay, so we use the else to capture all other informations we are not going to capture using the if and the else, the EliF. Okay, so I hope we're able to learn something very, very important today.